Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgot why you walked there in the first place? Or perhaps, have you had that frustrating moment when you try to recall someone's name but can't? Well, according to a study done by Herman Ebbinghaus, the average person forgets 50% of newly learned information within an hour and up to 70% within the next day. As a student who's currently taking psychology, I've learned a lot about how our brain stores and retrieves information. Scientists have spent decades studying memory and understanding how it works to help us improve and prevent memory loss. Memory is an essential part of our daily lives. Whether you're a student trying to remember information for a test, or someone who has watched a loved one struggle with memory loss. Truth is, we all experience forgetfulness. By understanding how memory works, you can actually improve how well you retain information. Today I'm going to teach you how memory works in the three main types: sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Starting off with sensory memory, the shortest type of memory. It briefly holds information from our senses, acting as a temporary storage system. This gives our brain just enough time to process what we see, hear, touch, taste, or smell. These five senses are also known as iconic memory, echoic memory, olfactory memory, haptic memory, and gustatory memory. According to Richard Axon, without sensory memory, our perception of the world would feel fragmented. Imagine watching a movie where each frame disappears before the next one appears. It would be impossible to make sense of what's happening. Sensory memory helps us smoothly experience the world around us. Now that we've covered sensory memory, I'll be moving on to the next stage, short-term memory. Short-term memory is the second stage of memory processing. It briefly holds a small amount of information for about 30 seconds before it either fades or moves into long-term memory. Psychologist George Miller found that short-term memory has a limited capacity, only holding about 7 pieces of information at a time. For example, when you look up a phone number and memorize it just long enough to dial it, that's short-term memory in action. According to the National Institutes of Health, short-term memory is essential for important tasks like problem-solving, reasoning, and understanding. Now that I've talked about sensory memory and short-term memory, I'll be moving on to long-term memory. The final stage of memory is long-term memory. This is where information is held for potentially a lifetime. Unlike short-term memory with limited capacity, long-term memory is almost unlimited to how much it can hold. According to Dr. Paul Reber, a neuroscientist at Northwestern University, the human brain can hold up to 2.5 million gigabytes of information. To put that into perspective, that's like recording television for over 300 years. Long-term memory is divided into two main types: episodic memory and semantic memory. Episodic memory is where we store our personal events, like our birthday. Meanwhile, semantic memory is where we store general facts, like knowing the capital of France is Paris. One of the best ways to strengthen long-term memory is by studying. Studying a little bit every day is far more effective than cramming everything into one night. Today I've explained the three main types: sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. They each play a role in our life. Next time you forget why you walked into a room, don't panic. It's just our brain filtering out unnecessary information. With the right techniques, you can improve your memory and make learning more effective. Thank you.